Thousands of people are in high-rise casinos right now in Las Vegas.
After this weekend's fire at the Fontainebleau Hotel this weekend, which is under construction, we wanted to know more about how firefighters are attacking these fires to keep people safe in high-rises.
Fox 5's Joe Vigil talked to a deputy chief with the Clark County Fire Department today. He is live with more details. Joe?
Yeah, the deputy chief tells me that people are well protected in high-rise buildings, especially after the deadly MGM fire, and says firefighters are well trained to keep you and your family safe if they stay in a high-rise building. Well, there's certainly going to be a lot of concern anytime smoke is seen coming from a high-rise building in the Las Vegas Valley, including the under-construction Fontainebleau Hotel on Saturday. Clark County Deputy Fire Chief Thomas Touchtone says there is a general rule firefighters follow when a fire flares up.
We have two options. One is we can remove the problem from the people, or we can remove the people from the problem. With a high-rise fire, if it was full of people, we're going to take the action of removing the problem from the people. So we're going to pour all of our resources into mitigating the problem, which in this case was a roof fire.
The deputy chief says 80 firefighters were sent to the rooftop fire and 50 people went inside. People attacking the fire work about 20 minutes and then are relieved by crews staged outside. They keep rotating in 20-minute shifts to stay hydrated and rested. Paramedics also go inside with crews in case any firefighters are hurt. The deputy chief says crews hooked up to a water source on the roof, which he says worked as intended. The fire was out about 30 minutes after firefighters arrived. Another key aspect of fighting a high-rise fire is for crews to meet with the building staff to discuss system controls such as fire suppression systems, elevators, public address system, sprinklers, and alarms.
To the detail of, we have a sprinkler activation in room 1306. That tells us exactly where the problem is, so we can get there faster. Right. But also it can tell us what's the status of the ventilation system. Right. So the ventilation system will automatically kick on and start moving smoke off the floor and up and out of the building. So we can see, is it operating, or do we have to supplement it with our own fans? This is Clark County Fire Department's high-rise pack.
The pack is made up of hoses and gauges that firefighters carry into a high-rise building. With this equipment, they can hook up to the building's water system in the stairwell of each floor and in the hallways to help get a fire out fast. Now, so far, there is no cause of this fire. We are told that roofing material debris burned. Of course, we'll keep you updated as we learn more. We are live tonight. Joe Vigil, Fox 5 News Local, Las Vegas.